Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Lawyer Interviews. My name is Jeff Dillon. Today, we are interviewing Beau Correll, uh, owner of his own personal injury law firm, with us today. Beau, why don't you introduce yourself right now? Thanks for joining us.
Hey,
And
thanks for having me. Yeah,
yeah,
I'm just honored. I know that you guys have been doing a lot of interviews, and thanks for reaching out. My name is Beau Correll. I own the Correll Law Firm in Virginia's Shenandoah Valley. So we're kind of the north part of Virginia, and we go all the way down to Harrisonburg, Virginia.
great. And Beau, what's the name of your law firm?
Easy to remember. It wasn't that inventive when I came up with it. It's just Correll Law Firm.
Correll Law Firm, and we can find you at.
The best place to reach me at is Virginia Personal Injury. That is the username I have on Instagram. And we're just starting to do some TikTok stuff too. That's Lawyer Beau. So,
Starting
fun story.
TikTok.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
you're going places.
I mean, it's just like I see people using it, and I'm like, if it's worth the time investment for them, I might as well try it. Better be a creator than a user, because that thing will suck so much time out of your day if you're not careful.
Oh, sometimes my best days are just laughing hysterically at a bunch of TikToks.
Oh,
I don't
really?
know,
Right.
but
Well, for some reason, I'm on like I'm getting a bunch of wildlife videos about gazelles, and I'm like, did TikTok overhear me talk about gazelles and like lions and stuff? I don't know. It's just all
it's
safari stuff. It's very bizarre.
it's so funny. Yeah, the second you engage in any type of algorithm or something,
Oh
that's
yeah.
like you're stuck, and you gotta like. For a while, I was watching like way too many like high schoolers dancing, and I'm like,
Right.
I'm gonna be on some like FBI list or something. Like, I need to
Right.
like stop. Like, you gotta get away from this, and like little
Now,
kids like interviewing each other in in high
now,
school and stuff.
now it's like all my feed is like hyenas like being eaten by lions and stuff. I'm like, coming into this, I'm like, I don't think I really like to watch this. This is really violent. Now I'm like, oh, what is that? Is that hyena going to get away? I mean, like,
I guess you're
anyways,
learning about yourself probably
I'm
through
only
through
telling my
that.
girlfriend, I'm like, look at this. She's like, not another wildlife video.
Too funny.
Yeah.
So Beau, uh, we'll eventually get back to discussing your social media presence and everything like that. But I'd like to hear just really quick, how'd you become a lawyer? Why'd you become a lawyer? What led you to owning your firm today?
Sure. I've been a lawyer quite a while since I was licensed in '07
Mm,
and practiced, started being a prosecutor. I knew that I wanted to be a trial lawyer. I was really big into debate in high school and college, and I just thought that was my natural place. So I decided I got to go anywhere to get that experience. So I went down to Southwest Virginia, to not Southwest Virginia, Southside Virginia, where I prosecuted, and it was a great experience. But that's kind of where I started, and that's what my interest was. But after that, I went into criminal defense, and then I started to slowly migrate to personal injury. Now, personal injury is about 100% of our practice.
understood. Okay. So is that a typical move to go from one side to the other?
Well, I am in a sort of rural part of Virginia, and so there's not much high degrees of specialization here. So I know that you do securities law. Good luck trying to find an exchange near Winchester, Virginia. But I noticed that there's a lot of people that were getting settlements they weren't too happy with, and I was hearing these stories. And as a criminal defense attorney, my opponent was always the government, and here my opponent is insurance companies. And who could find a better bad guy than dealing with insurance companies and try to get the most compensation I can ethically for clients?
Mm. And it's I guess like go further on that. What makes it an insurance company the best bad guy?
Sure. Well, I mean, constantly I'm seeing almost every day how insurance companies can. I mean, listen, this is how capitalism works, right? There's a bit of a dynamic here. How can insurance executives have these wonderful yachts and huge corporate retreats and all this stuff. They're not making money, but at the end of the day, consumers need to really take care of themselves. And so every day I'm seeing these stories about how insurance companies just pay someone just a very small amount to settle a claim, or they make up things on these calls. Like they will say, listen, if you don't take our money now, we're going to close out the case. And I'm I was hearing these things. I'm still hearing them almost every day. Of course, the insurance company just can't close out your case. The statute of limitations determines when your case is closed out. But it's kind of these things and lowballing people. And also I like helping folks. So I like the idea of when people come to me and they say, hey, listen, I'm hurt. I don't know who to go to. And I know all the people in the area that are good with treating people with car crashes. And so, I'll say, well, try this person, try that person. I don't know how it is where you are, but here it's really hard to get in to see healthcare professionals. It's really, really backed up. We have a real big, like 3 months sometimes to get people in. So hopefully I'm able to get people in soon to get treated.
Yeah.
I do like that part.
Well, I guess that might be a product of, you said, the rural
Yeah.
nature. I mean, not that, I'm in New York City.
Mhm.
Obviously, there's different challenges of getting into, healthcare and getting into seek treatment and things like that. But there's definitely more options, I would imagine. Is that
Yeah, I mean, no, we do have a good deal of health providers here. The problem is it's just getting into someone is just very difficult.
so? Like
There's a
the
shortage.
yeah, right. So your clients, who are they, and how do they find you?
Most of my clients I kind of know from the area. I grew up in this part of the state. Some people find me off the internet. Some people find me from SEO or social media.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a good degree of people are word of mouth.
Mm.
So they know someone who knew someone, because you got to remember, I've been practicing law here, for over a decade.
Wow.
This is not that large of a community, so word gets around. And of
Mm.
course, good reviews don't help. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. Of course, good reviews do not hurt either.
Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah. I watched you had a little tutorial, I guess, or something about on a reel that you made. You're like, how do you know a lawyer's good?
Oh yeah, I just posted that, right.
Very and so I work for a big law firm, and people working at those, like, they have like certain, maybe like inbred reputations, but
Mhm.
so how, like, people are really looking at lawyers as if they were, I don't want to like be rude here, but like, it's like Yelp for a restaurant or something,
Right,
right? Like they're, if what
right.
how much, what is this like in the game? Are you paying
Yeah.
people to review you, or
So for small law firms, it's very important to
mm-hmm.
differentiate yourself when it comes to reviews. But, you know, well, the sad thing is, like, I've got a couple 1-star reviews and none of those people were actually my clients. And so that's kind of what you're competing with. So when a consumer is out there looking for attorneys, it's very, very, very important that you actually read the reviews, because sometimes they may not be first off, you might get a bad review because they just, tried to call once and you didn't pick up. You might get a bad review because you turned the case down. That's always like extremely difficult, because,
Mm-hmm.
you want to be candid with prospective clients, and it's not a judgment on them as individuals, but sometimes people take it the wrong way and they want to give you a bad review even if they weren't even a client. That's kind of unfortunate. So it's very, very, very important to get people that have great customer experiences, great client experiences, to leave a review. And sometimes you just have to, help them find a way to write the review, but also,
Right.
it's important to, if you're the prospective client, that you actually read those things, and don't hold it against an attorney just because they had a bad experience based on their circumstances. That attorney might have done the best they could under the circumstances.
And it's probably true too. You tell me if you think this. You're more likely to want to review something to complain about a bad experience. If you had a great time, you're not even thinking about, wow, let me go review this because I had a great time. Like I had a great experience, right? Like,
Well, yeah, it's usually one end or the other.
okay.
And you know, you never have someone like, well, you do occasionally, I guess, people that love to write reviews, 3-star review of this park.
Right.
I liked the park, but it wasn't that impressive, but it wasn't that bad. You
Yeah,
never
like
really
what a
see.
waste of everyone's time. What are you
Right.
doing? What do you do? Who has that
Yeah. No,
compulsion?
so normally people have when
Yeah.
great experiences or very bad experiences and then react on that. You want to be able to, firm owners want to be able to capture the
Mm-hmm.
good experiences and try to memorialize that if they can.
Gotcha. Yeah. So what about just on that same video though, I really liked this second point. I really agreed with it. You said lawyers that teach other lawyers.
Right.
Uh because everyone who's watching this is a lawyer. I
Mhm.
hope actually, because then you will kind of, or maybe you're a prospective like law student or something,
Mhm.
but a huge part of is our continuing legal education, right? So uh do you do CLEs like that?
I've participated in them as far as like taking time out of a weekend and do it. My hats off to folks that do that.
Yeah.
Um, but you have formal teaching, you have, of course, informal teaching. I'm always
Right.
down if attorneys call me to, they could even be out of state and they say, "Hey, listen, I've got this Virginia issue. How do I deal with it?" I'm happy to help.
Hmm.
But I think one of the things that you can differentiate yourself from other attorneys in your particular field is to educate, right? And especially if you do some videos, that will always be up. Especially on social media, you can educate other attorneys, which is a very niche field, or basically educate consumers on how to
Hmm.
approach a situation. But you got to be very general, of course, so you're not giving
That's right.
legal advice, individual legal advice, which
Yeah.
is
Have
the
you
app.
have you looked into that? Like,
Right.
is that a
Yeah.
tricky situation?
I, I don't think so. I think basically is if you're getting for informational purposes only, general points. I mean, nothing's preventing you from talking about a law or how to approach generally situations.
Hmm.
It's the moment you begin to apply facts to a particular legal situation when you might want to think about your own ethical
Right.
duties there. I mean, I think if you get general information, the other day I did a Instagram reel post about what I think is adequate insurance. A lot of times, marketers, not marketers, yeah, but marketers for car insurance companies will say you get full coverage, you got full coverage, you got full coverage. But in reality, that's just a marketing ploy. That's not adequate coverage. So, constantly in my personal injury practice, I'm getting situations where people don't have enough underinsured coverage, meaning a someone at fault hit them and they didn't have enough liability coverage. So they're like, oh, the prospective client says, well, I've got full coverage. I have full coverage. I have to always explain full
Mm,
coverage doesn't necessarily mean adequate coverage.
interesting.
Yeah.
But so then in that line, you post that video, someone comments, "Hey, what about my insurance?" And then you could like, if you were to reply to that or make that a, how people can make a
Mhm.
video based off of a comment, like, "What about my DUI case?" And you're like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
that was you were a perfect example." Like that, you don't see that, and I'm sure that would be an obvious breach of like ethical duties
Yeah,
and
you just
not
got to
giving.
keep it broad. You say, hey, listen, you should probably contact an attorney in your state. And you could speak in general terms, but usually
Right.
just don't even go down that rabbit
Yeah,
hole.
yeah. It's just it's really interesting because the legal field and lawyers in general are so conservative, risk averse, and social media is so you're just putting yourself out there
Mhm.
for everything, and it's almost like counter and into it's a paradox in a way of seeing all
Mhm.
these lawyers on, but it's a real avenue, and you see a lot of them. I mean, you have like a lot of followers, and I don't know if you're uh that seems to be something that you're pursuing, at least
Right.
as
I'm just starting to get into it. I have, followers doesn't mean they even look at your stuff, but
that's true.
I think it's a very important component of public education too. I don't want to see people being taken advantage of.
Mm.
And I think the more you give general information, the more it helps the public. And if it works out in other ways too, that's fine too.
But you also want to throw in, I haven't gone through, I'm sure everyone should, Virginia Personal Lawyers and your own personal Instagram. You
Virginia
throw in,
personal injury. Yeah.
sorry,
That's
Virginia
all right.
Personal
Whatever.
Injury. Uh, you put in a little bit of your own personality, right? Like, here's me
Mhm.
driving to work, and what are you, like, jamming out to music or something? I don't know. I was like,
Oh yeah, probably. I mean, I love Latin dance, so like I'll just do my own thing, at least on my personal account. I don't know if I've done it. I probably posted it too on the professional account, but I just want to have a good time and just be me and not be inauthentic. But if there's videos of me, dancing out there, so what?
yeah, well, I
That,
mean, maybe people, it's weird. Like, maybe people want to see that you're not just a stiff, or that you want to like the person who you're working with or
yeah,
helping
I
out. Like,
guess there's that too. I mean, I want to, you don't want to, you want to hire I don't know, maybe some people want to hire a robot. It's in the corporate field, that's probably
I
quite,
mean, I don't know if anyone's like, 5 stars. This lawyer was hilarious. Like, it's not like it's
but
just like your doc. You just want to get your result, and you want to,
yeah.
bedside manners, sure, but like, uh,
Yeah, this lawyer really lost my case. It was horrible, but you know what? He's pretty funny.
yeah, dressed
So
cool, great dancer.
great Dan. He's okay. He
Yeah,
makes me chuckle.
exactly. I don't, but I think it's the new world, I guess, of
Well, let
this.
me ask you a question. Have your clients seen your comedy, and what do they think about it?
Yeah, well, for me it's different in that I'm not like I'm not the face, bringing in clients at this point
Okay,
of my career. I'm,
got it.
I'm an associate, but I am not advertising any
Mhm.
connection between my what my actual job is
Got
and
it.
making
Okay,
comedic
got it.
things.
And you have not done so, so I got you.
Yeah, because yeah, I don't know that it would be I don't know what it would do to as a bad thing, but I don't think that there's really any benefit. It would be, it's like
Right, it's like
risk reward is there's
I
nothing.
get that. That's it. Here's the thing: is I've been in my own sort of climate for a while, and when you run your own law practice for so long, you wonder, is this, am I out of touch, or is what I'm doing on social media, would that turn people away? At the end of the day, I just going to be myself, and if they don't like it, whatever. I
I
mean,
think that's right. I think, and my philosophy too is like, if I haven't put anything out there that I'm would be ashamed of, or
yeah,
like,
right.
would be insulting or anything, and I believe that's what's going on with you too, and it's just, it's I like it's just the new wave of things. uh Plus, just like what you do, I think a lot of what I do is more geared towards other lawyers who are
Mhm.
commiserating with the just like our lawyer issues meme page and stuff. You're kind of commiserating about the day to day or things that we deal
Mhm.
with in our field. So
Sure.
just another aspect. But yeah, so what is the Beau Correll outside of the law firm? What are your hobbies or interests outside of practicing law?
Sure. I am really interested in getting out. I've traveled quite a bit
Mm-hmm.
internationally. I love to do that. I love to dance. It's called bachata dancing. It's not salsa.
Okay.
Bachata dancing. It's big where you are actually.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of like what I'm a big fan of. I also like other different kind of commercial ventures myself. Listen, if you are just a lawyer all the time, you got to consider what is your personal time, and what makes you happy, and that thing that drives you as a lawyer professionally. You have to nurture that, and you have to nurture your own soul in a way, and you can't let what you do take away from who you are. And I think it's so important to kind of free your mind quite a bit, and do what makes you happy. For me, it's travel, it's dancing, it's doing trivia, all those things. And just remember that you're not just a lawyer, you are a person that also happens to be a lawyer. So
Mhm.
never lose track of that.
Do you ever find yourself kind of recharged after doing something like that? Kind of have more
Oh,
energy into.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Uh, my what I do to me is extremely rewarding. So I kind of love it too. I love the fact that, I'll be in a trial. I love trials. It's fun. It's high risk. I'm obviously very, very nervous leading up to a trial, but that's kind of like my natural habitat too. So
Yep.
I think the main thing is that you're happy with what you do at work, because you only get this one life, and you don't want to spend it being unhappy. And if that means you know say I'm leaving work, I've got to focus on myself, you got to do that. That's
Mhm.
that's number one.
Well, yeah. So do you agree? Great. Maybe that's a little clip right there, a nice little uh thing. Very introspective. So we're running up on the end of the interview. Is there any other, points about yourself or your practice or anything that you want to highlight?
Sure. Well, not necessarily about me, but attorneys that view this, if you're working for yourself or you're thinking about going solo or starting a small firm with a couple of partners, it's important that you surround yourself by people that have walked that walk before. So, Facebook is obviously a free resource. It's can be annoying at times to see all these political discussions when you just, I don't know, want to watch cat videos, I guess, or my circumstance safari videos. But those groups are free. So if you find a lawyer group, business owners, that run law firms, something like that, surround yourself by that type of influence, and never be afraid to ask questions. That's one of the biggest takeaways in my growth as an attorney and owning my own law practice is I've never been afraid to ask questions.
Mm.
And so no one's going to think you're stupid, or I mean, they might think you're dumb if there's a great question to ask and you don't ask it. So, the great thing about lawyers generally, with each other is sort of a giving culture. You can call people up and
Yeah.
ask their advice, because all of us have been there where you may be, and just starting our journey when it comes to starting a practice or embarking on a new area of law. So
It is so true that people like to do that. And do you think it's because lawyers, or is it a giving culture, or do people like to hear themselves talk?
I haven't had the latter much. I haven't.
I'm
I
being a
think
little, I'm
no. I mean,
tongue
it's
in cheek,
probably a little
but
a little bit of that too. It's
yeah.
nice to be wanted,
Yeah, it's nice. It
but
feels good to have some, when you know about something and you can start
yeah,
telling people, there's like some kind of nice feeling about it,
that's
It's,
true. And also, I'd suggest that when you go to these CLEs and you learn about a particular topic, follow up with these people,
mm,
email them, say how great it was to hear from them and hear their experience and learn about their particular area of law. And just please stay in touch, because there's great referral opportunity there, either to them or from them. But also, in the, day, I mean, the knowledge you can gain is immeasurable from those types of programs. And let me say one last thing.
yeah.
What some of my biggest growth as a attorney, when it comes to education, has been going outside of my own state to learn. So that is a lot of times, if you're in a particular field of law, figure out what are the national associations, the national conventions that do that, and go to those. It'll really expand your mind. You will hear from attorneys that have great verdicts, settlements, or other outcomes that you didn't even know that were possible. And they'll walk you through how they did it in those lectures. So never be afraid to step outside of your own state and learn.
Very insightful. Thanks, Bo. This is
Yep.
great. I guess it's a jungle out there, but it doesn't have to be. You could find your pride and destroy a hyena if you need to,
Yeah.
together.
Wow, you really tied that one together.
Yeah, that's what he that's what I do. That's my big thing. That's my value add here.
Yeah.
Great. Well, it was really nice meeting you. Really interesting stuff. Again, everyone, please follow Beau's personal page, but also Virginia Personal Injuries.
Virginia Personal Injury on Instagram, or Lawyer Bro on TikTok.
Lawyer Bro.
Lawyer.
Oh, okay. There you're saying
Lawyer Bro sounds really good too.
Yeah, but to some people, maybe they're like, enough Lawyer Bros. We need a Lawyer Bo. Sounds great. All right, we'll look forward to his rise to stardom on TikTok. And great. All right, thanks so much, Bo, and have a great weekend, man.
Real pleasure.
Thank you. Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too. Take care.